everyone, welcome back to Zoonova, and in this video I'd like to introduce you to a new module that we just added which uses machine learning clustering for stocks. This is the module right here, AI Alpha Volatility Scan. And when you look at this module, you will notice different levers and different analytics settings. Essentially what you can do is you can query from the machine learning generation of all different stocks that are in the database, alpha by short term, mid-term, long-term, and volatility by low, medium, and high mean. And what that does is, if I go in and select alpha long high at 7 weeks plus and hit refresh, you'll see that it loads up the grid, and in this case it's 32 entries of stocks that match that query. And what you're going to see is you're going to see these clusters over here where it shows a cluster mean volatility of 40.79%, a cluster alpha short, how much alpha is being generated short term, mid term, and long term for those stocks. And again, that was from my query of saying alpha long 7 week high, and here you can see those. This is where it returns those stocks with alpha having is long-term 7 weeks plus, but up on the high side in terms of alpha return. Now I can also mix and match these levers, or I can select a symbol. So if I go in and say Apple and I refresh it, what it then does is it brings Apple up here at the top, which has been referenced, and it's included in these clusters down below of all these stocks that match Apple. So what you're seeing then as you scroll down, in this case we have 156 entries of stocks, you're going to see all those other stocks that fall into the same clusters as Apple. So as you scroll across, you're going to see things like the risk-adjusted performance using the M2 ratio or the Modigliani ratio, cluster vol, mean, short term, mid-term, long-term. Again, all these stocks are in the same cluster. So in this case, if for some reason you wanted to swap out of some shares of Apple into something else but was in the same cluster as Apple, it's very easy to do that because you can see all those stocks that fall in those clusters. It then goes on to predict the prices from 1 day of each individual security out to 1 year. It will also predict the probability of generating alpha of 3% or better from 1 week out to 3 months, and alpha of 10% or better probability from 6 months out to 1 year. Then of course you have the charts, which will show you the predictions, and a probability chart of alpha, generating alpha of 3% or 10% or better. And then there are accuracy charts that are generated, and the accuracy charts show the user how accurate the model has been in the past. It takes a snapshot of 1 year ago to today, generating prices, and shows you the mean accuracy and the differential of the actual prices versus the predicted prices from 1 year back. And that gets refreshed and recalculated every month. You can also use this module to not only reference a stock and see what stocks fall in the cluster, but you can reference an entire portfolio. So if I select from my portfolios that I have, I select Zoofolio and I hit refresh, now it's brought in my Zoofolio portfolio, which you can see here by everything that's shaded in green and also with the reference indicator flagged on, and then all the other stocks that would be included as a match to those stocks that I currently have in the portfolio. And you can see there are 558 entries of those that can make a match to each individual stock within the portfolio. So in this case, I could look at this and query different sections to determine whether or not I want to sell some stock that's currently in the portfolio, replace it with other stocks that are within the cluster but are offering maybe a better projected alpha, lower volatility, higher volatility, a lot of different assumptions I can make and use this tool to guide me correctly in choosing those stocks to either buy or sell within my portfolio. So a very, very powerful addition to the Zenova platform, and of course any of these modules generate a report, and the cluster report looks like this. So you get a nice report that will show you all the different headers and different outputs for everything that's in that grid that's been returned from the cluster. And you can also export out any of these stocks and create a portfolio, either as a watch list or an actual portfolio that you want to use for trading. But again, it's very, very flexible. A lot of information in this module, a lot of ways to use it. Extremely powerful. Uses an AI machine learning module and also uses other AI machine learning models such as the Birch, XGBoost, neural network, deep learning, and random forest. Thank you.